Hey, hockey fans and families, we've got something to tell you about NHL Sense Arena, our title sponsor. They're rolling out a monthly off-season training pack program with guided objectives for both players and goalies to help kids stay motivated and improve all summer long so they can come back ready, not rusty for next season. It all starts right now in June with the new Elite Campus Prep Training Pack, which features drills and training plans inspired by top colleges, junior teams, and elite hockey programs. And players who compete all the monthly training plans will unlock a limited edition virtual jersey and badge for their Sense Arena locker room. Plus, you'll get entered into a chance to win a special prize at the end of the month. They are always thinking of new stuff over there at Sense Arena. And remember, there's a ton inside the platform, including regular competitions and contests, 3-on-3 NHL games in VR, new training updates, of course, Dangle Pro, something we love here. We've shown you that online. But best of all, NHL Sense Arena is continuing that off-season pricing, just $2.99 for an entire year of unlimited training for both skaters and goalies with up to 4 unique user profiles. So if you've got siblings or you've got multiple kids, this is for you. Visit nhl.sensearena.com/OKPH and you'll get an additional $25 off on top of the off-season pricing. That's pretty cool. And that's basically a free month of NHL Sense Arena for our listeners. So this is something you're going to want to check out. It is a tool for your hockey player. Speaking of tools for your hockey player, let's get you into this episode of Our Kids Play Hockey. Hello, hockey friends and families around the world, and welcome back to another edition of Our Girls Play Hockey. This is a special edition because today is the final episode of our 2025-2026 Day in the Life series starring Hayley Scamurra. I was trying to purposely scare half of you there. A different hat today. I'm wearing my Olympic rings hat today for you, Hayley, all right? Because that is one of the big accomplishments from the year. But again, when we last left you, I got to get used to saying that. When we last left you on our last episode of Day in the Life, Hayley has won the PWHL championship. She has won the Walter Cup. We kind of went through the 48 hours or so after that where you were with your teammates, you were with a pool party, and a parade in downtown Montreal was on the horizon. And I think the audience all wants to feel like they were there with you at that parade, Hayley. So that's the first question. Tell me everything about the parade when you had to show up, how it went on stage with the cup, your teammates, and we only have 40 minutes. So
yeah. It was an incredible day. I think it exceeded any of our expectations. And we knew Montreal would show up, but it was like the amount they showed up and with the energy they showed up with was unparalleled. Like I've never experienced something like that in my life. It was incredible. So I'll start at the beginning. We met at our practice rink, which is in Verdun, which is like a suburb, if you will, outside of the downtown Montreal area, probably like 15 minutes or so away. We met there at like 9 a.m. So, girls had mimosas, they were making Caesars, like we were just having fun, like in the locker room, like waiting to get prepped on like what the day would look like. Cause, we had security there, like different protocols and things like that. So that was super fun. And we come out and we have like a double decker bus. And so that was super exciting. We had 3 female cops who volunteered their time to kind of like lead us out on their motorcycles to the parade path, which was going to be in downtown. So we get there. There's some people at the rink like waving and, whatever. So we're like, okay, cool, good start. And, we get on the bus and we get new t-shirts and we start our trip. And there's like a mass of people right outside this one church, like right down the road from where we started. And they're so excited. They have signs like, and I'm like, wow, that's a pretty good showing. All right. We're off to a good start. And like that everyone's like honking their horns on the way, like whoever's passing us. And we're all just cheering, so pumped. And it was just amazing. And so it probably takes about 15, 20 minutes to finally get to like where we're supposed to be, where everyone knows we're going to be. And it's called St. Catherine Street where we start. And for those that don't know, it's like this, it's a really great street where like it's all this outdoor shopping kind of on the street, lots of clothes and things like that. It's a really fun street to walk down. And so we turn on that street and all we see are people like lining both sides of the street.
That's awesome.
So excited, screaming. So we're like hanging off the sides, like pointing at them, yelling, like people are tossing beers over. Like it was just wild. And so we're so focused on like looking forward, right? We're looking on both sides, seeing all the people. And then the coolest part, we're about like halfway down the street to like where we end up going to like get to like the stage, right? The stage area. And we have some staff who are in the back of the bus and they're like, guys, you have to come look behind the bus. And I'm like, why would we look behind the bus, right? So we all get to the back of the bus and all we see are a sea of people chasing the bus to the point where you can't even see the street. Like you don't see where the street begins. It's just people following us to get to this parade moment. And I think for me and for most girls that I've talked to, that was kind of like the moment where it hit. Like I had tears in my eyes at that point. Like
Wow.
I was just so blown away by how many people were there to support us and following us to just celebrate the cup. Like it just felt like what you would see for like a Super Bowl parade or like
Wow.
a Stanley Cup parade. It really felt like the moment for
That's
women's
because it
sports.
was.
Yeah. 'Cause it
Yeah,
was.
like it's just so it was just so surreal. So that was a big moment. And then again, just so many people on either sides of the bus. And then we finally get to like the staging area. And that's where all the people are filled and like there's like a little bit of like a field area for everyone to like stand to like watch the stage. And they're just it's packed. It's packed. And there's a red carpet for us to walk down. So we're waiting on the bus and we're waiting to go because security has to get in place and things like this. And so we finally get off the bus to go down the red carpet and Pooh's holding the cup and we're walking down and we're high-fiving everyone and like just putting on a show, coming down the red carpet to finally get to the backstage. And so that was just incredible. We were told we weren't allowed to sign anything during that because it would have obviously taken forever. So we had to just get right to the stage. And then from there, they like announce us one by one going onto the stage. So, everyone's doing different things and I didn't know what to do. I just like was fist pumping and stuff. But some girls, went down on a knee, chugged a beer, like just it was so much fun. All the fans were just cheering and um it was just amazing. And then our coaches had a speech to like, talk about how amazing the coaches were, give them some cred, have them lift the cup in front of the fans um and then we're singing on stage, we're dancing on stage. Like it was just like a concert basically. And everyone's just loving it. And then of course Amanda Boulier has the tuba. And she's playing that thing with all her heart. For those that don't know the story behind it, she lost a bet with Laura Stacy. They would try to guess who was going to be on the camera for every game, like before the game starts. And they had like a running thing, like whoever won at the end of the regular season. And so Amanda lost. And so originally she was going to have to play it at the top of Montreal and like have like a little cup, for people to like give her tips and stuff. But to be honest, this was so much better. She was on the stage at the parade and she played that thing the whole time. Like she was dedicated. She did not stop. So that was a really funny piece to everything. And then we were probably on stage, I want to say an hour maybe. And then after that, they were like, okay, you guys can kind of go down and start signing stuff and whatnot. So I started backstage and like there was just a sea of people wanting things signed. Then they're throwing things at you from behind because it's like layered, right? Like there's so many people. And I signed as much as I could. And then we had like a place we went to go get lunch at afterwards and got to just celebrate together. But it was one of the best days ever, honestly. And we just appreciate how much they showed up for us and how much energy they brought. And again, like I said, it felt like out of a movie. It really did. And I know it made us all really emotional at times to kind of see because it just really felt like the big moment.
I was going to say, it must have gotten emotional for you. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
electric, so
hmm
fun.
hmm
But then there's that other side of it is, wow, women's hockey, we have arrived.
hmm
This is what a moment in
hmm
history, right?
That's exactly how it felt. It just all kind of hit at once. And then it
Yeah,
was also like just how far we've come in general, and how much more there is to grow. And
sure.
yeah, it really did feel like the big moment for women's sports.
Amazing.
You know what's crazy
Amazing.
about it too, Christy, and I remember this now, Haley, in the last episode was one of the, I don't want to say concerns, one of the question marks we had
hmm
was, the Canadiens were on the verge of being eliminated. And
hmm
how would that affect the crowd, if
hmm
at all?
hmm
And it didn't in any way,
No.
which I think says a lot about the people and the fans of Montreal that they
hmm
showed up in force for you. All right. And by the way, had been showing you support throughout both the PWHL and the NHL playoffs, pretty obviously. But to support, again, your point, Christy, it didn't matter, right? Like it wasn't exclusive to the Canadiens winning for them to support the Victoire, which is exactly correct. That's exactly how you want it to be. And Hayley, I don't know if you got to see any of the broadcast of that parade, but we saw, or I should say, we didn't see the street. Like you said, it was completely covered.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's the first parade in Montreal probably since '93.
Probably.
So that's pretty crazy stuff. Amazing. I also have to say this because I take notes. If you ever watch the show and you see me looking off screen, it's because I'm taking notes. For the American audience, Hayley referred to a drink called a Caesar. That's kind of a Bloody Mary. A little bit different. For those of you who want to know.
Yes, I forgot. Yeah.
Don't sleep on a Caesar if you're in Canada, by the way. But absolutely fantastic stuff, Hayley. And again, do you remember any of the speeches, any favorite speeches aside from the music performances?
Well, a few of them were in French, so I'm not going to lie. I had no idea what they were saying. So that was like, and I'm trying to find a French person next to me to tell me, and then they would just sum it up real quick. So it wasn't quite the same vibe, but it sounded like the fans loved it.
Right.
But no, it was, I would say, I think the only one, I'm trying to think. So there was Stacy, Abby Rock, and our coach, Corey, who spoke in English that I can remember. Abby Rock's was pretty quick, but obviously the fans were loving it. And Stacy's was pretty great because it was just talking about like taking in the moment and like how far women's sports has come and like thank you all for coming and things like that. And then Corey's was great because it just really, she had a little speech for like every single coaching staff member, including like our stats guy and things like that. And she had the crowd say like, "Merci, coach." You know, it was really cute. So that I could say that. So I was like, perfect, I'm in. But yeah, it was an incredible day, and it was cool to see them all kind of have their moment with the cup too, with the fans, and get the recognition they deserved and stuff. So that was really nice.
How much preparation went into like your rundown? I mean, obviously this is new to probably everybody, right, in the group, and I'm just wondering, you know, as you're going through that process, because these things become, you know, it really is a coordinated event. You can't just, you know, parades like this you're just not winging it, right? You're like, hey, let's go downtown,
shut the town down.
You know, go to the bar, and so I'm just wondering how much coordination went into the players and the staff and things that you kind of had to, you know, you knew like, okay, here's kind of our agenda for the day and when we're going to get our little breaks in.
Yeah, they kind of went through the protocols, and then it was funny because at one point on our drive, we were told we had to sit for a portion because there was an overhead pass we were going over. So they were on that, making sure no one was standing up for that part. And then, you know, just a little bit in terms of like, once we got there, what it would look like, I think was big because like when we see people for autographs, we usually try to do autographs. So them telling us like, guys, you can't do that on the way in. Like we have to get in and go. And then just like different security protocols, which was interesting. And like, I don't know, hadn't really thought about it, but it is kind of crazy. Like we had to have security kind of get us through the mob of people to get onto the bus afterwards, which was wild. And so,
also, you mentioned too that female police officers led the parade, which how cool is that? I mean, that obviously was intentional.
It definitely was, because they had helped us when we went to City Hall too. They volunteered their time to kind of escort us to City Hall. And so then it was the same 3 female cops that came for this one, which was really cool. Like they were just so supportive, so excited for us. And that was special for sure.
Also,
I forgot to mention the Walter Cup was in this cool old car in front of the bus with our GM and our head coach. So that was kind of a cool look as well.
Yeah, Cup gets its own
ride.
It did. We were kind of sad it wasn't with us on the bus, but we understood. They said for the fans, they could see it a little closer.
Yeah, sure.
You'll have your time.
The Cup has its own ride.
You know, it's so cool to hear the inside story of this
right?
And the plan. You know, Hayley, I'm just thinking in my head, like if I told you a few years ago you're going to be part of the first hockey parade in Montreal since 1993, it's like I always like to bring up these thoughts.
Sure.
Because we talk about glass ceilings and trailblazing. Like that's not even something I thought about until I saw it happening. You know what I mean? And you know, I want to ask this too. So, and this can be more than just the parade, considering like we're kind of summating the end of the season here. But you had so many amazing interactions with fans. You know, when you were in Montreal, in the room in Montreal, I saw that great picture behind you of all the teams you'd been on that was clearly made by someone.
Yeah.
Is there a specific, I know there's a lot, interaction with a fan or something that a fan said to you that really, I don't know, hit you between the eyes or just hit you in a positive way that was like, wow, you know, the impact is even more clear with that.
You know what? It actually didn't get said to me directly, but I actually was watching a few clips on like YouTube and stuff just to see different perspectives and what I maybe didn't see. And it was a fan interview of this older woman, and she was just brought to tears because of the opportunities we have now that she didn't have. And so I think that gets lost a lot in terms of the impact it has. Like we always focus on like the little girls, but it's like it's also for the women who didn't have the opportunity to be in a league like this. And who paved the way to get us to this point. And so I think that really hit for me a bit, to make sure like they get that kind of like recognition and make sure we make time for them, like for autographs or for talking and different things like that. Cause I just feel like that maybe, you know, you focus on the little kids so much, you kind of forget about the generation before a little bit.
That's a great point.
Right.
Really.
And speaking of little kids, I bet the young girls that were lined up to see their heroes, their heroines.
Yeah,
must have been so exciting for them.
Yeah, like their parents' shoulders, you know, trying to get a good view and stuff. It was pretty incredible.
Now, I want to bring this up. This is going to be a really cool part of this episode, and the audience is going to understand why. If this was a movie, right, the parade is where the credits start running and the story ends because we've won. We're on top of the mountain. We've got Walter. We've got the parade. We've got our fans. Beautiful ending. All right. That's where the movie ends. Okay. Hayley's life and every athlete's life still continues. Right. And one of the things that I want the audience to understand, this is day in the life, is probably how jarring we hit the brakes here. Because it's like, hey, Hayley, great season. Get out of your apartment and drive home. Right? Because that's, I mean, it wasn't that abrasive, obviously, but you had to move out like right away. Like I think it was 24 hours, 48 hours, right? Like you're
pretty
out of
much.
Montreal.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, another part of the story, we got to go to a Luke Combs concert that night.
Nice.
And so originally, like Nick and I were going to pack a little bit more to leave on that Monday. So that was a Saturday. And I was like, we can't pass up on a concert like with all the girls. So we got to go to that, which was incredible. But yeah, we spent all day Sunday packing and then left on Monday.
Wow.
Another fun hiccup I had, my car was stolen at the beginning of May.
Oh no.
So I didn't tell you guys that, but I didn't have a car. We only had Nick's car, and so I had to rent a car in Canada and to pack up more of our stuff to bring home. So that was a fun little wrinkle in our plans.
What was there, a gold medal sitting on the front seat or something?
Oh my
Jeez
gosh.
Louise.
No, thank God. No. That is with me always.
Yeah, that stays with Hayley. I didn't know that.
nightmare.
That throws in a little more tension into the day of the life episodes we've done as you're striving. Boy, I hope you get that figured out.
Yeah, it's on its way, but it just I had to figure that out. So yeah.
Right. So okay, let's get this straight. You're packed up and you're like
Yes.
it's a very abrupt ending. And again, this is pretty normal across all sports. Like the season just kind of ends. Right? Like the parade is like a bonus if you win in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
So you're packed up, you're leaving, and you're driving out of Canada. First stop for you is Buffalo. Some pretty exciting stuff in Buffalo. Talk to me about that.
So I was actually approached about it sometime in April or May, that I was invited to go to one of their off-season training days. And they gave us like multiple dates that we could go to. And some of them were in May. And I'm like, I don't think that'll work because we'll most likely still be in playoffs. And then we saw that there was one for June 2nd. I'm like, all right, I guess I can make it work. We can just make a little triangle, go from Montreal to Buffalo.
About the Bills, just so everybody knows, the Buffalo Bills.
Yes, the Buffalo Bills.
Is there anyone else to talk about?
No. The Sabres were doing all right, but no, just I just want to paint this again, Hayley. The Buffalo Bills, the NFL team, has invited Hayley. They've reached out to her. I like to promote that kind of thing. They're reaching out to her. You didn't reach out to them. They reached out to you because you accomplished something a little earlier in the year that they were interested in.
Exactly.
Keep going, Hayley. Sorry, I just want to set that up for the audience.
For sure. And then, so I was like, okay, we'll make that work. So we left June 1st, got to Buffalo, me and Nick, and then I invited my brother Travis to come too. And we were able to tour the new stadium that they're building.
Awesome.
And it was It is incredible. And it
Okay.
was actually the first day they had just been granted occupancy, or I
Yes.
forget the
Yep.
exact
Yep.
term. So we didn't have to wear our hard hats. Apparently
Right.
that was the first day people didn't have to wear hard hats. It's like perfect,
Nice.
like much better for photos.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, we start with the tour, and guys, I mean, for all Buffalo fans, this facility is absolutely incredible. You are going to love it. It is going to be amazing. They have thought of everything you can think of. Like every single part of the stadium, they talked about the intention behind it, who they asked for their opinions on it. Like they talked to everyone. They talked to the ticketing office, they talked to fans, they talked to staff members, like anyone you can think of, they made sure it's like the best it can be for football.
Wow.
And it's beautiful. It's so cool. I'm trying to think where to even like begin. I think we went to like the locker rooms first.
Oh my
The
gosh.
locker
They
room
must
is
be
just
like palaces, right?
massive, like this huge. I'm like, how are they going to even have speeches in here? You need like a
Yep.
microphone. Like
Yeah.
it's
Right.
literally so long,
Oh wow.
and just huge. So that was really cool. So we get in there, and then a great part about that, all of a sudden we see all these construction people come in, and I'm like, huh, I wonder what they're coming in here for. And they're with Dion Dawkins, who is the offensive
Oh,
lineman for the Bills.
sure.
Such a fun character. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. So he just walks in. We weren't expecting to see him.
Oh my
He wasn't
gosh.
expecting to see us. And he was like, you look like an athlete. Like, what's going on? And so I got to show him the gold medal, and he was so pumped. And we had
Oh,
like a great, like 10-15 minute conversation, honestly. Like
beautiful.
he was so like, he was so excited to like meet me and talk to me and talk about like how, I've reached that pinnacle and they want to reach that pinnacle
Mm.
and get past that threshold. And so it was just like a great, like
Is,
respectful, really nice conversation. What were you gonna
is
say?
this the kid that played ice hockey?
No, he did not play
Oh,
ice
okay.
As a
hockey.
lineman.
No, I think one
We'll
of the
get to
guys was
that.
from.
Yeah.
Who's one of the guys you ran into there that's from the Bronx that he knew all
Skylar
about?
Bell.
Oh,
He's
okay.
a wide receiver. That was
Oh,
later in the
neat.
day.
Oh, it was okay. Okay,
Because the
got it.
Dion Dawkins like that interaction was just like happenstance. Like we just ran into each
Wow.
other. Like
Right,
that
right.
didn't like
That's
it
cool.
wasn't expected. So
Yeah.
that was super fun. And I got to show the medal to all the construction people as well, who
Oh,
have been working
nice.
tirelessly on this
Sure.
stadium, like
Hmm.
around the clock, I'm sure.
Yeah. They gotta get the
Um,
deadline done. Yeah.
yeah, so we're
Yeah.
taking pictures, all that fun stuff. And then we finally get to go to the stadium, and it's just like
Wow.
it just like envelops you. Like it
Mhm.
was just like you can feel the fans are going to be right on top of you. The little bit of a breeze. They say they cut the wind by like 50% of
Wow.
whatever it is outside of the stadium. Like there's all this like science behind it.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, the stadium is beautiful. It is
Right.
so nice. And then we got to go. They have like a train horn that they can sound at the end of the stadium.
Mm.
And so I got to play the train horn, which was sick.
That must have, with empty stadium,
Whoa.
that must have been a big echo. Jeez.
Man.
It actually scared me. I knew it was going to happen, but it still scared me. Like I think the video's online, but it was really fun.
All the Bills fans listening right now are so jealous of you right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
This will
But
be our
thank you
most
for giving.
popular mini clip because we're
Oh
talking
my,
about the Bills.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this
So
is
that
such
was
a rare inside look because we in the
Mhm.
media haven't even gotten a tour yet. So this is fantastic.
Yeah.
If you win a gold medal,
Yeah.
Christy, you can get in there.
Oh, right, right.
Just, yeah. And you
Yeah,
met
so
a
I got
lot
to
of other
see
athletes. Yeah. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Well, yeah, I got to see all the suites and like all the
Mm,
different like installations they have in the arena, which that I won't get into. I'm sure they'll post that at some point.
sure.
Just so much intention. It was so cool. And I even asked for the fans about like tailgating and stuff because I know they were worried about it. And they said they created extra space in the parking lots for people to tailgate. So don't
That's
you worry, Bills fans. Still
Nice.
plenty of room. So yeah, it's just incredible. It was so much fun. We must have been there for hour and a half or so. Um, and then we got to go to the field house and then go see them practice, which was really like a cool insight to kind of have to see how they practice because it's just so different. They have music playing, they're having
Mhm.
fun, but they're also in like their different groups. There's just so many of them, and there's also so many different styles of coaching, obviously, because the
Mhm.
positions are all so different. So that was really fun to watch, uh, and then the head coach came over to talk to me during practice, which was super nice. Like
Wow.
he did not have to do that. Like I was expecting to talk to them like when practice was over, but he
Sure.
came right over and we were
Woo.
chatting, and he was super pumped to like meet me and like talk and just ask questions, which was really nice. And It was a really cool, really nice experience for sure. And like all the players, like, so I ended up like putting the medal on at one point. So they're all like, let's go. And they're like going like this. They wanted me to like bite it for them and stuff. It was so
Oh my
funny.
gosh. What about Josh Allen?
Yeah, did you meet a guy named Josh? Did
I
anybody?
did.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did.
me. Okay,
So
come on.
yes. So
Let's hear about
finally practice ends and I talked to the head coach again. He comes over to chat more. And then Josh Allen finally comes over and like I have
Oh,
wanted to meet Josh Allen, I mean, forever. Like for Buffalo fans, like I just absolutely love him, have so much respect for him, love watching him as an athlete. Like I feel like he's grown so much. He's gotten so much better year after year. And I feel like he's only going to continue to keep growing. And the way he handles all the pressure and stuff, I just, yeah, so much respect. I've been so pumped to meet him. And so I actually had a Montreal Victoire jersey to give him, and he had one to give me, but he came over, introduced himself, like was so respectful, so like excited to see the medal. I don't know if you guys watched the video. He was
Oh,
literally
I saw
jumping
it.
up and down. He was
Yeah.
so pumped to see it. And I was like, that really helps keep my nerves
Sure.
calm a bit, right? So yeah, it was just, he was so nice. And so we just got to chat a little bit about that and got to exchange jerseys, which was really cool. And yeah, it was amazing.
what a dream come true. And
Mhm,
of course, that elusive Super Bowl championship is something that
mhm,
they're chasing, right? And they haven't yet gotten that. So you need to share with them your
mhm,
technique to
mhm.
manifest that gold medal. You need to do that so that we can get a
Yeah,
Super Bowl championship in Buffalo too.
I have no doubts. They've got this. I have a good feeling about this year. I do.
Well,
Good.
I will say this too, that from Joe Brady to Josh Allen,
Mhm,
all the videos that you shared, the thing that stuck out to me, and again, for the audience listening, especially the kids, this is something you see in professional sports, was the absolute mutual respect
Nice.
for
mhm,
each other. Haley, from you to them and them to you. Like, and again, look, there's always a little fandom in situations like this. And like, that's anything, right? You're a Bills fan.
mhm,
But you could tell what you just said. These guys had so much respect for you and what you had accomplished. And I'm sure you had some
mhm,
conversations about what it took, right?
mhm,
Because they're eternal students of winning as well. I wish we could, maybe this is another episode. I wish we could encompass the desire and need to win at
mhm.
the professional level. I don't think it's something people particularly have a grip on, even as fans. I don't think you understand that unless you're willing to give up your entire body to achieve it. But I just love the mutual respect. And like I said, I know we saw some videos online, Haley, but man, that they roll out the red carpet for you, and it's well deserved. And again,
Yeah.
this was for more of the gold medal than the Walter Cup championship. I mean,
Yep.
I'm sure they asked about that a little bit too, like that you were getting both of those.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely talked about that. They were like, "Oh, you also got that too? Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
goodness!"
right.
I'm like,
It's
Like,
"Yeah,
oh, by the way,
Yeah,
it's been quite the
Yeah.
quite the year." But and then it was really cool because then after I met Josh, we went into the field house because like they all go in and like kind of get ready to leave for the day, but a lot of them wanted to come see the medal and chat with me more. So then I had like,
Yeah.
I would say like 8 or 9 guys like come out on their own time to like come chat and see the medal and take pictures and stuff like that. And
Well, so
just so many of them were just so kind. Like it was just it was a really amazing experience.
That's nice to know too, because you always wonder what are they
Mhm.
like when
Yeah.
they're, in
Yeah,
person
like
with you. Right.
a conversation that stuck out was Christian Benford. He like was just telling me how proud he was of me and how amazing
Wow.
it was and how much like sacrifice and
Yeah.
mental and physical the toll it takes. And he was just, yeah, he was really like said a lot of really kind words. And
That is good to
Damar
know.
Hamlin was really nice. Dawson Knox, Deion Walker came out, like all of them. Like Deion Walker was funny because he came out and he's one of the big, like he's huge. Okay. He's got to be one of the tallest guys on the team. And he holds the medal and he was like, I could see his hand was like shaking and his hand is huge.
Oh,
Okay. Like it was
wow.
massive. The medal barely fit. Like it was like tiny in the palm of his hand, looked like a pebble. And he's holding it and he goes, "Oh, I don't want to drop it." And I go, "I
Oh.
don't think you could."
Yeah.
I think it's physically
What,
impossible
he
for
could-
that to
he
fall.
could-
take it.
hand,
It would go.
yeah.
Yeah, you could take
Yeah.
it. It would just
To
feel
fall.
right. I think it's. I bet you too. I mean, it's got to be so different for a football player because they don't have an opportunity to represent their country.
No.
Like
Mhm.
football doesn't get to go win a gold
Mhm.
medal across the
Yep.
world, right? So I think it's unless you're coming from like track and field or another other events, right? That they have to look and say. I mean, I think a lot of that kind of admiration comes from the fact that like they that's one thing they'll never get a chance to do is compete for their country, which is really special. Especially it sounds like the guys, really appreciated what you've done, for USA, but also that an individual accomplishment, which is really fun to hear that back and forth from the athlete.
Yeah, that's what Josh had said too when we had the first thing he said when we had met. He's just like, I just think that is the most incredible thing to be able to represent your country and stuff. So you can tell that's a desire that he has, and I'm sure a lot of them do. And it's kind of sad they don't get the opportunity to do that. But yeah.
I'll say too that just from a gold medal standpoint, there's no gold medal in history that's ever been won that hasn't been earned. Right. I think sometimes people go, oh, it's this sport, or look, there's some funny sports in Olympics sometimes. Everyone that's ever received a medal, I won't even say, or actually even gotten the Olympics, it was earned. You might not see it at the event, but years and years of harnessing these crafts. And these guys know that. Yeah, especially in a sport like hockey, how earned this is. And again, they'll have to listen to the day in the life if they want the full ability to understand that. Now, listen, two things here, Hayley. We got about 10 minutes left on this episode. As a son of Philadelphia, I do have to say, go Birds. I texted that to you. You can give me a thumbs down if you want, like you did on the text. We're friends, but I do have to draw the line there. Although everyone loves Josh Allen, including me. So, yes. But I will say that. Please don't turn off the episode because I said go Birds. That's just my allegiance. Okay. After this now, you're done with Buffalo. This is an interesting point because now you got to drive to Maryland. And it's a 6-hour drive, I believe, give or take with traffic down to Maryland. Yes. I had asked you last episode if you had a quiet moment after all of this stuff had happened. I'm wondering if that drive becomes the first time of sustained sitting and driving where maybe you can reflect a little bit or not, right? What was that drive like? Because I imagine your life is going 1,000,000 miles per hour and then it's hey, let's go sit in the car and go down 95, to Maryland.
It was good. I talked with family and stuff, just letting them know I was on my way down. And then Nick and I were driving separate. So we actually talk a lot on our phones throughout the car ride.
That's cute.
Yeah. But I think honestly, the moment was when we got home and we were just lying in bed and finally able to just kind of sit there and not have to do anything.
Right. Nothing on the schedule.
Nothing on the schedule. Yesterday was that was my day to just do nothing. I didn't care about the things in the car. I didn't care about anything getting back to people. I was like, guys, I need a day to just do nothing. And it was a wonderful, relaxing next day.
That's awesome. Hayley, it's funny in seeing where you're at right now for the audience listening. When we started the Daily on the Life series, you were kind of where you are now. You were in Maryland, you were in a house. And it's funny when we look back at the entire series, you went from essentially the room you're in now to the Montreal skyline behind you to, Italy to that. And then we're back. And it's the reason I'm bringing that up is because this is life in professional sports, right? The season ends and then it's over. And it's you got to start kind of going next directions. I do want to give a shout out here too. You're going to be doing something with the Washington Mystics. I do want to give you a chance to talk about that real quick. And then just kind of briefly go over the summer. And then we'll kind of close this out. But it is amazing to me, the life of an athlete, because it doesn't stop for us when the parade ends, right? It doesn't end. So anyway, talk about the Mystics, talk about what's going on.
So Monday, I'm going to the Washington Mystics game, WNBA game. They're playing the Indiana Fever. And before the game, they're doing an autograph meet and greet session. I'll be there. My teammate Lacey Eden's also going to be there. And we'll get to do that before the game. And then we're also sitting courtside. So I've never been to a WNBA game. So I'm actually super excited. I just haven't had the opportunity or the chance to. And so this is obviously a great one. And so I'm sure they'll do some Jumbotron recognition, some t-shirt tosses in there. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to celebrate with the DMV area. Haven't gotten a chance to do that yet, obviously. And so that'll be
where are they playing again?
Fun experience. When?
Where?
Oh, where? Care First Arena, I think is what it's called. It's in DC, so it's not the Capital One Arena. It's I think it's a little bit of a
already
smaller
been there
venue.
this year. I said you've already been there this year. And then they're playing the Fever.
Yes. I know I
Interesting.
haven't seen Caitlin Clark in person, so
I was just
kind
going
of
to say,
pumped
maybe
about
there's
that.
an interaction there that might happen.
That'd be cool.
Look,
Yeah,
I'm saying this with extreme respect. That's a person who also wants to win a gold medal in the future.
for sure.
So I'm sure she would love to pick your brain about
Yeah.
that. And then also, in addition to this, just kind of like looking broadly here, Hayley, like I said, you're doing a lot of camps this summer. Please feel free to promote or things that you're doing, because you're all over the place over the summer here.
I am. So first off, I get to just rest here in Maryland for 2 weeks, which is really nice. Then I'm off to Buffalo. I'm really excited about this one. It's like my hometown hockey clinics. I'm running it with my dad at the rink I grew up playing at.
That's
So there's so
That's
much like sentimental, obviously, value there. Um, and I'm just super excited to run it with him. It's something like we've obviously bonded over is hockey and what we still continue to bond over. And so now that we get to like coach together and I can be that role model for, the next generation in Buffalo. And I never had that growing up. Like I never had a female hockey player that I looked up to that came back to the area. So like I kind of get to do that now.
Yeah.
And not kind of, I do. And I'm really, really excited about it. It's more of like each day is like for a different age group. So I'm doing it June 24th through the 26th. Um, our middle group is sold out and we kind of keep getting people asking to come in. I've let a few more in just because I'm like, oh, might as well.
I
Like,
know.
why not?
So
Like,
hard to say no, right?
I can't. Like, you're asking, like, come on. So,
Yeah.
and I think we had some wiggle room there. I think it'll still be like intimate enough, but, and we're doing the first days for the oldest age group, which is 15 to 19, but there's not as many 15 to 19-year-olds as I thought. So I think I'm opening that up to just some high schoolers in general, like 13 and up.
Yeah,
Because I feel like a lot of girls end up having to play up in age.
it's true.
So I figured
That is
that'll
true.
work. And then the youngest age group is on the last day, and those like it's about like 5 to 9 range. So I'm super excited about those. Um, just really excited to kind of just give back. We're going to do a mentorship talk kind of beforehand, little meet and greet photos. Um, and obviously they can hold the medal and things like that.
That's special.
And then from there, we'll do a little workout. They're going to get their own set of beast bands like from Nick and run through a workout. And then we'll be on ice for about an hour and a half. And then the part I'm really excited about is the family fun skate at the end. So for like 20 minutes on the ice, they can bring, a sibling, a mom, a dad, like, and they can come on the ice with them and we'll play a game, take photos, things like that. Cause I really wanted everyone to kind of have that little family connection piece at the end. I was a little nervous about rolling that out, but honestly, almost everyone has put in a person to come on the ice with them. Like very few no's. A lot of like brothers coming out on the ice, which is really cool.
Right.
And then like a lot of dads and moms. So I'm
Right.
pretty pumped about that piece. It's really cool.
I'm excited about that too, because so many times we go to these clinics and it's all drills and
Yeah.
nothing, right? It's all work, work, work. It's nice to be able to take a moment and say, you know what? Family is more than just hockey and drills and skating or hockey rather, but it's also part of your family life too. So you're reinforcing that message, which I love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great time to reiterate. The show's name is Our Kids Play Hockey.
Our kids play hockey. It's
Yeah.
our
Um,
kids.
Yeah.
It's
Shout out
family.
parents.
Yeah.
It's true hockey ambassadorship what you're doing.
Yeah.
These are choices,
That's
right? And I love that. Listen, we've got a couple minutes left, and there's two things I want to cover real quick. One is like any great movie, got to have a sequel. So
Wait, who's going to play Hayley in the movie? I want to know.
she's going to play herself. It's one of those, right? This is the last episode of the 25-26 edition. There will be, by the way, everybody, a 26-27 edition. That's what we're planning to do. But to lead towards that, Hayley, PWHL is having a very interesting offseason, 4-team expansion. I think we're all a little confused or have question marks over how that expansion is going to work. It's not as simple as just an expansion draft. There is the actual draft. There is free agency. There may be a draft. Just want your broad thoughts on that right now about where your league is heading into the next season.
I mean, I think it's super exciting. We're obviously pumped that we're expanding to 4 more teams. I think it'll probably be the last for a bit, which is nice. And right now they're kind of just in the phase where the expansion teams can start their first 5 signings. So they can talk to anyone that's on their negotiation list that they have to submit. I think they had to submit it yesterday, actually. And
We're
it
recording
just goes,
on June 5th, just so everybody
yes.
Yeah.
So it'll, we'll go from there and see what happens. I think a lot of it we'll kind of see as it goes. I think it's kind of hard to know what exactly it'll look like without just going through the process, because so much of it is just kind of written out. And then if they don't get the 5 people by the end of this phase, then what they'll do is a selection process where they all are able to pick who they want based on the list they've already submitted.
Right.
So that's where we're at now, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy off season, and that is probably where we will start the next day in the live series. Once all of the dust has settled on that, we'll start talking to Hayley about what the 26-27 kind of season looks like without an Olympics, which is going to be interesting, right? We'll be able to focus on the PWHL the whole time. I want to end this episode on this, Hayley. When we started having you on the show, trophy case was a little different. All right.
Yeah.
And I want to say this, over the past year, literally this year, you have added a gold medal, a PWHL Walter Cup championship. And I want to congratulate you because there's one more added to the list in the Bob Johnson Award from USA Hockey, which they have awarded to the men's national team, the women's national team, and our sled hockey national team, all who won gold in the Olympics. And you are part of that group. So congratulations on that. I mean, just a nice, I don't want to call it the cherry on top because it's a pretty substantial award, but a nice cap off to honestly a career year for you. I mean, amazing stuff. I mean, are there any ways to put this into words for you? It's just an amazing experience all around.
No, there's really not. It's 2 of the highest goals I've ever dreamed of achieving, and the fact that I've done it in the same year is pretty remarkable and incredible, and the only person to do so, which is also wild. So very honored to be a part of that history, and I'm just soaking it all in. It's been absolutely amazing.
Well, yeah, I know.
Definitely soak it in. And thank you for sharing all these pinch me moments with us.
Well, I said, I know the audience, Hayley, and they're saying, well, what's next? What are you going to put on the whiteboard next? And you'll have to stay tuned to Our Kids and Our Girls Play Hockey to find out the answer to that question.
I love
everybody. We are going to give Hayley a much deserved rest from thinking about things like that. But the episodes will continue. But Hayley, from all of us, Mike, Christy, and myself, just thank you. Thank you for sharing your journey. This has been an amazing inside look into your life, into the life of a pro athlete and an Olympian. And I know, and we all know from the feedback we get, that a lot of people have learned from this, from your example, and will continue through. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you guys. I love it.
All right, that's going to do it for this special edition of Our Girls Play Hockey. Remember, you can email us, team@ourkidsplayhockey.com, or use the link accompanying this episode in the description to text us questions, ideas, episode ideas. If you have a question for Hayley, send it over. We'll get to it. But that's going to end the episode here. Everybody, thank you so much for listening this season, and we will see you next time on Our Girls Play Hockey. Take care. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Our Kids Play Hockey. Make sure to like and subscribe right now if you found value wherever you're listening, whether it's a podcast network, a social media network, or our website, ourkidsplayhockey.com. Also, make sure to check out our children's book, When Hockey Stops, at whenhockeystops.com. It's a book that helps children deal with adversity in the game and in life. We're very proud of it. But thanks so much for listening to this edition of Our Kids Play Hockey, and we'll see you on the next episode.